2 NFL on Chuck's Chat YouTube. Joining me once again, we have Jeff, Noah, and Teddy. First recap of last week in terms of picks. I went 6-1, 86%, 1-0 on locks. Noah 5-1, 83%, 0-1 on locks. Teddy 5-7, 42%, 0-1 on locks, and Jeff 8-11, 42%, 0-1 on locks. The Philadelphia Eagles have the best record in the NFL. Let's start there.
Oh.
All right.
So undisputed division champions as of right now. I mean,
that is correct. So looking, I guess first start a week in review. One to go around. Jeff, you wanted to lead us off on this. We had three little homework assignments: player of the week, best performance, and worst performance in your mind.
Can you just skip me?
Sure. No.
I don't want to talk about it. Week 1 was tough. It was a tough subject. Come back to me later.
I mean, player of the week and best performance. It's the same person. It's Chandler Jones from Arizona. I mean, he had 5 sacks. He disrupted the Titans' offense to an extent. I haven't seen in a few years. I mean, when's the last time somebody had 5 sacks in a game? He had 2 forced fumbles on top of that. The Titans' offense was supposed to be one of the best in the league coming into the year. They looked awful. Taylor Lewan had to go to Twitter to publicly apologize for how bad he played. That's how much Chandler Jones killed them. He's got my best player and best performance of the week.
And then, best performance was a team thing, but yeah, that works.
Okay, gotcha.
You just want to go with the Cardinals, and then
I'll go with the Cardinals as well. I mean, they just look great. Kyler Murray looked awesome. Cliff Kingsbury is getting a lot of hate the last couple of years. I think this is kind of his chance to turn the narrative. He could end up being a pretty solid coach. They got the players there. Kyler Murray looked spectacular. They could have a pretty big year.
And then your worst performance?
Worst performance, I don't know, man. It's got to be it might be just the Falcons as a whole. They look terrible. Seriously, they looked terrible. I can't even really pin it to one person. They had no run game. They couldn't throw the ball. They were just bad.
Yeah, that was a tough start to the Arthur Smith era. Teddy, what did you think of week 1? Who would you slot in those 3 little awards there?
I'm going to go with Jameis Winston as the player of the week. Obviously a big game, first as like a starter, got the job, won the job. First game with LASIK, it's always good to see. So, a lot of good opportunity for Jameis to ball out, especially against the Packers. I think we all kind of agreed that Packers were going to roll. I think we were completely wrong on that one. Hate to see it. But, yeah, Jameis has them going. I mean, they had a sound win. I'd like to see what is to come, especially once they get into, a little bit of the divisional matchups. So I'm going to go with Jameis as player of the week. My winner as a team, I would say the Raiders. In prime time, again, solid team against the Ravens. John Gruden tearing up at the end. It doesn't matter how you win. You just got to win, right? It's just at the end of the day, it's 1-0 or 0-1. I'm going to go with the Raiders. Good start. Stadium looks full. I love it. But I don't think they're going to be good on the road. So we'll just see if they're a home dog, and that's how they roll. And the loser is going to be Tennessee. They got smacked. I think we also had a lot of expectations that Derrick Henry just going to run the ball down their throats. Obviously, that's something that might be a little shaky. All around, they kind of look like a mess. So I'm going to go Tennessee getting blown out. They got another tough game this week and then a divisional matchup the following week. So not good for them.
Yeah, that is tough. I honestly thought, and even just the last 2 minutes of that Raiders-Ravens game, I missed the Chiefs-Rams from a couple years back that combined for like 100 points. That was probably the most fun, regular season football game I've watched in so long. It's a crazy ending.
Absolutely.
And then Jeff, now that we've wrapped our
background. That was fast. So I also said player of the week. I had Jameis. You could finally see. I'm wearing glasses right now, so I kind of feel like a little threatened by him having good eyesight. I mean, he was just prepared. What else can you say? He's prepared. One thing that I'd like to note is that, they're undefeated at away home games. Like, they don't lose away at home. Like, that's something to definitely keep in mind. So how many other, away home games are there technically? This game because of a natural disaster and the Super Bowl. Something to keep your eyes out for.
Yeah, the only one I think I can remember is the Vikings. Their dome collapsed in, and then I don't know if they were actually supposed to play in Philly, but it was on that Tuesday. I don't remember if the game was supposed to be in Minnesota and then they moved it to Philly. But that was that weird Tuesday night game where like the Eagles could have clinched the bye, but they lost to some rinky-dink backup quarterback. I don't even remember the guy's name, but he played in the league for multiple years at like a tight end. Like, it was something ridiculous in the Vikings. But anyway.
So, yeah, player of the week has got to go to Jameis. I think the team of the week, actually, I'll start with my not team of the week. The Packers stink.
That was terrible.
I'm kind of just echoing what Teddy said, but like, they just looked awful. All sides of the ball. Aaron Rodgers couldn't throw. His offense just looked, like flustered. And coming from my mentality, from my mindset, I'm thinking, okay, Packers might given 4 points. We were all, put me on record, clip this. We were like, this is over. Like, they're gonna win by 50. Surefire, like, money bet. And they got rolled. I didn't say I watched too much of the game. I was tracking it along with my New York, not the Giants, with the Jets, because that game actually got close to the over-under, which kind of scared me a little bit. And team of the week, switching really quick. I like the Chargers. People for some reason doubted them. We didn't. People doubted them. They beat the football team, but Herbert looked pretty good. Maybe I'm just drinking, the Noah Kool-Aid, but I think the Chargers are something to mess with. Herbert threw for over 330 yards, and only one touchdown, but still, I think the Chargers are absolutely. That was, I'm not going to say it was a good litmus test for them, but they won at football team, which is weird to say. It's an away game. Starting off on the road with a roadkill, I think things are looking up.
10 a.m. body clock game. It's tough to get up for.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it.
I still can't believe they were dogs in that. I know the Washington football team has a legit defense, and their offense at times looks like it was going to stall out, but I thought they should have been favored from the start. Justin Herbert looked like he took that step that he was missing last year, where the team would just lose a lot of games down the stretch, and he showed up. He made a lot of big-time throws. He looked excellent late in the game. I think it could be a big year for him and the Chargers.
Well, when we recorded the show last week, depending on what book you were on, I think they were a pick 'em for you guys, and I had them as a point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then by Thursday night, they were 2.5 point dogs.
Yeah, I got them. I think when we recorded, they were a point favorite, and by the time I got them in, they were dogs. So I took a money line, and it was a plus win for me.
Yeah, Herbert. Yeah, his throws the last drive to ice the game. I think they're at their own 20-yard line. He just went down the field, and it was very veteran. He's been here, he's done it millions of times before, and only his second year. I don't even know if he's 24 years old, but very impressive.
That final drive, they had three third down conversions.
Yeah, insane.
You were just at that. The way you would expect that game to go would have been them to give the ball, punt it away, or not convert. And next thing you know, they're trying to come back, or not come back, but they have to drive down the field now with pressure to either tie it up or win the game. And they were just nope, best way to prevent that is just keep them off the field.
Chargers, I think last year that was a big problem with them. They just got in those situations down late, and it looked like they were going to score and win, and they just didn't do it. So, all that experience from that rookie season helped, and I think they're going to continue that success.
Yeah, for me, Chandler Jones, player of the week. Not really going to expound on that too much. Noah kind of covered that. Best performance, I'll go to New Orleans. Anytime you beat any team 38-3, it's impressive. When you do it to the back-to-back NFC runner-ups, that is unbelievably impressive performance to me. And then worst performance, Jacksonville has a very good chance, and this is very, very reactionary to go 0-17. I think they got whooped by probably the worst roster the NFL's had in a couple years. No disrespect to Tyrod Taylor, because he can, he's all right. He's serviceable for, when you don't really have an answer at quarterback. But the Texans are really bad, and the Jags looked lost. Urban Meyer looks lost, and they're going to have a long season there. So to get
I had him as my lock of the week. I think I seriously overestimated the impact of Trevor Lawrence, and I seriously underestimated how bad I think the Texans were. They're not good, but they weren't as bad as I thought they would be. That Jacksonville defense looks like it is going to be a problem all year. They looked terrible. What did the Texans score? 40 or damn near close to it, something like that. Against with that roster, that shouldn't even come close to happening. Jacksonville offense looked like it picked it up a little later in the game, but I don't know. They could be in some dog shit right now.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence threw it 51 times in his
can't let a rookie quarterback do that in his first game.
3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Like, it was very, when you do like a My Career in Madden and you just throw all game long, you're going to have some terrible picks and also 3 touchdowns. That was Trevor Lawrence's first game as a pro.
I don't understand why they threw it so much. I mean, I know Travis Etienne got hurt, but you still have James Robinson. He rushed for 1,300 yards last year. How many times did he touch the ball? 6 times?
5 carries. 5 carries.
Ridiculous.
Very bad. Very bad.
I would also like to add one more loser of the week.
Sure.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Did not work for me on Sunday.
Oh.
I don't know what was going on. A lot of problems. Had to call them again on Monday. Walk through it with the guy. Worked perfectly fine. I'd like to say they took a week of my life away from me, and I'm pretty upset. And I'm still the sorry sap. Just bought it, and I'm ready for week 2.
That stinks. Wait, how much of the Eagles game did you miss then?
I missed all of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my
they
God.
look good.
Oh.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts looked legit. He looks,
Teddy, let me verbally describe it for you. They looked very good. I'm not sure if it was because they were playing the Falcons, but I was watching that game and I was like, damn, we're fucked.
Yeah, I was a guy wearing those jerseys everywhere, going to get my McGangbang. Everyone looking at me as everyone in the lots partying for the Lions, and then I didn't even get to watch my team. I was very upset.
No free ads, but we are McGangbang fans at McDonald's.
Yes.
Sponsor us for $3 a week.
Yes. Also shout out my dad for watching. If he's watching right now on Friday or Saturday, thank you.
Nice.
All right. So
I have one more winner of the week. I have one more winner of the week. It's Daniel Jones. I was raised, if you're going to do anything, be the best at it. He's the best at turning the ball over, and he's not letting that rest. He's not rest on his laurels. He just continues to even one up himself. Another lost fumble. Now he's at 40 turnovers and 27 starts, which is
impressive.
easily
it's honestly impressive. Like, I don't think I could do that, but we'll see. I don't think he's going to turn it around. I think if he wants to, hang his hat on that, being the best at giving away the ball, I think he's going to have to keep bumping those numbers up. I think two to three giveaways a game, whether it's an interception or fumble, and he's going to be first ballot Hall of Famer for turnovers. Yeah.
So we're recording this on Wednesday. It'll probably come out Friday or Saturday. We're going to time travel a little bit. How do you feel about the Giants going to Washington, 2 0-1 teams? Taylor Heineke, what are you thinking, Jeff?
I have no expectations, honestly. Like, I got completely Eagles fanned on Sunday. You guys always say, Birds suck. Take whoever they're playing. Birds suck, and then come Sunday, you're like, they got this. You really all the signs point to one thing, and you guys are just like, no, I'm taking the path less traveled. Forget everything I said for the past week. I'm going with my gut, my team. I did the same thing, and I've never been so let down. I think, I mean, I don't know, because now I'm going to say right now, while we're recording this, they're going to lose. And then tomorrow, damn well, my picks are going to be the Giants spread, Giants money line, Giants first half, Giants first quarter, like everything for my team. But I don't think they're going to win. They're both. It's not even like a statement win they could make or anything. Like they're both coming off of a loss. So I think Washington's just going to. Their defense is too good. The Giants have no offense. It's going to be probably a low-scoring game. But I think Washington's offense is significantly better than the Giants. It's not saying much, but the Giants just aren't going to score the ball on the offensive side of the ball.
And hopefully for tomorrow's game, their whole bathroom situation is fixed. They're not leaking sewage all over the stadium. That would be pretty shitty. Pun intended. Pun intended. So
better show be on the field, that's for sure.
So big games this week. Buffalo -3.5 at Miami, a huge AFC East battle. Teddy, going to start with you there. The over/under is 48.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed in the Bills, especially I was not high on the Steelers this year. So them to come out and win that game in Buffalo, kudos to them. But I don't think – I'm still never going to believe the Dolphins as long as Tua is their quarterback. I've said that from the beginning. I don't like left-handed quarterbacks. I think they're gross. I think they mess up everything scheme-wise. And Tua before said the NFL is easy, so anytime you say that, I will never be on your side. So I think winning back-to-back divisional games isn't possible for the Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Bills minus, I think, 3.5, right? Is that what the line is? Yeah, I think they at least win by, 4 or even like a touchdown. So I'm going to go with the Bills in that. I don't really want to touch the over-under because, the Bills could easily put up 30 points and, like where we're looking at right now. So I'm going to go just with the Bills minus 3.5.
All right, Noah, what do you think about this game?
Well, I love the Bills. I love the Bills in this game. I'd take them at 3.5. I'd take them at 6.5. That's how much I love the Bills in this game. I think I expected them to beat the Steelers, but I knew the Steelers defense was going to be legit. They've been very good the last couple years. So it didn't surprise me too much to see him sputter out the gate a little bit. I think I was the only one here who would have taken the under. I didn't actually take it, but that was my pick when we spoke about it last week. I think they're going to bounce back in a big way. I think they're going to put a lot of points on the board, and I'm with Teddy on that. I liked Tua in college. I liked him a little bit last year, but he did not look good last week. And he's got a lot of room for improvement. Miami defense is solid, but I just don't see that offense scoring a whole lot on the Bills this week. If I had to take the over/under, I'd probably go the under, but I'm probably going to stay away from that as well.
And Jeff,
Chuck,
yep.
I hope you take the Dolphins because we can't have a 4-person panel taking the same team because I'm taking the Bills as well for all the same reasons. I have a feeling this could kind of be like a wake-up game where, they kind of got punched in the mouth by the Steelers, and then they're just going to come out hot. I, like you guys, do not like the over-under, but I could see the Bills, like I said, waking up and putting up like 35, 40 points, just coming back to themselves, figuring out, remembering who they are. And the Dolphins aren't that bad, so I could see it, a couple touchdowns here and there. But I like Bills minus 3.5 for certain.
Jeff, I hate to break this to you, but I also like the Bills minus 3.5. This is it. It's weird to say a game is a must-win in week 2, but to start 0-2, losing to a team that you can be competing for a home field advantage against, and then another team in your division is a very tall task to. You're fighting an uphill battle the rest of the season. This is a huge spot for the Bills. Sean McDermott, I think one of the lesser talked about coaches in the NFL. He's going to have the boys ready to play. The last time they played Miami, when Miami needed to win, they kicked the shit out of them in Buffalo. I don't think it's going to be something like that because I do believe in Miami. I think Brian Flores is a good coach too. But Bills minus 3.5 would be where I go on that one.
Oh, boy.
So next game, the San Francisco 49ers coming to the Link, the first Eagles home game since regular season home game since they beat Dallas with Carson Wentz as the quarterback 2 years ago to basically clinch the NFC East. The Link will be fired up. Noah, I want to start with you on this one. 49ers come in 3.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 50.
I've been back and forth on this. I think the Niners are very good. I think their record last year does not reflect what this team is right now. I don't think the final score of their game last week reflects what kind of team they are. They were beating the Lions by more than 20 points, and a couple freak coincidences. The Lions were able to score 2 touchdowns in like a minute in the final 2 minutes of the game. But they had that game won soundly. That being said, the Eagles also looked very good. Their defense looked very good. The Falcons' offense was supposed to be a high-scoring offense, like they've always been. Their defense was pretty suspect. I think we expected that, but the Eagles went in there away in Atlanta, took care of business against a veteran team, and won, and not just won, but won handily. I'd probably take the Eagles plus 3.5. I don't know if that's just me being a fan. I could see this game ending up very close. I would say the Eagles even have a chance to win, but I understand why the Niners are favored in this. I'd probably take the under, though. I think the Niners defense is very good. And as I said last week, I think the Eagles defense is much improved as well. I could see this being a gritty, low-scoring game.
Jeff, what do you think about this one?
My thought process is 49ers minus 3.5. Both teams played very well offensively, but I don't know why I'm giving the edge to the Lions. Maybe just because Ted's here, but for whatever reason, I got Atlanta's defense just stinks. Not to say that Detroit's defense doesn't stink as well, but I don't know. For some reason, maybe it's the Giant fan in me that just wants the Eagles to lose. But yeah, I gotta go with the 49ers. I could definitely see it because it's being in the Link. That's a hostile place. I could see that really taking an effect to seeing the Eagles being able to cover or win, because really it's a couple turnovers, couple lost serves, if you will, like a U.S. Open quote. But I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm actually looking forward to this one a lot because I'm a pseudo fan of the Birds because I kind of root for them for you guys, but then I also root against them at the same time just to also dig at you guys. But yeah, that's all I got about it. I'm over under. I kind of like the under only because I don't think it's going to be nearly as high scoring because both teams kind of have now they got some film, and I could already tell there's going to be a lot less scoring this week. I'm taking unders all day.
Teddy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think both teams kind of had a game that you can't really gauge. It was 1 week. The Lions kind of came back in a weird circumstance. Noah alluded to it a little bit. Eagles, obviously, we don't know what the Falcons are looking like this year. We all thought better than what they showed, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I personally never like to take Birds underdog spread. I hate seeing my team lose and then also covering. It just doesn't sit right with me. I'm not in for the money. I'm in for the fandom. So I think Eagles are to come out hot. Obviously, Link will be rocking. For those about the rock, we all know. That's what on Sundays happens. I think they keep it close first quarter. I would take the Eagles first quarter. I don't know what the spread would be. But I think they're going to get a little carried away, whether it's penalties, anything like that. Obviously, I don't think that way. But they're going to face some adversity in the second quarter, get away. Maybe it's going to be 17-3 at half. They'll come back, fight a little bit, but I don't think in the end, I think they lose 24-17. So I would take the under.
Okay, I like that analysis there. I really like the spot for the Eagles. I'm one of those guys. I think I look maybe way too much into travel and stuff like that, but I think it's a tall task for the 49ers, 2 straight road games. They're going from San Francisco to Detroit, back to San Francisco, across the country to Philadelphia. I'd love the spot for, you have the Eagles fans, you have that home field advantage. I think the Eagles could win this game outright. as much as I do like the 49ers as a team, I think it's a really tough spot. So I think Eagles plus 3.5 because I get the hook on the half point there. If they lose, I think it'll be real tight. And if I had to take the total, I would say over because I think both teams can move the ball. We have two really good offense, or at least it looks like the Eagles have a really good offense. And we could get this thing to like a 28-25 area, that sort of deal. I think that could certainly be the case here. Because the Falcons at the beginning, they did move the ball and then they would just flame out in the red zone. So I don't see that the same way with the Niners. Next game, Tennessee Titans going cross country to Seattle. Another home field advantage that's back this year that the NFL and the fans desperately missed a year ago. So Seattle will be on fire. Minus 5.5. Over under is 54. Teddy, take me through it.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle did look pretty well last week, and Tennessee did not. They looked like dog shit. More so kudos to the Cardinals, but I guess can't see Tennessee coming back too strong. Especially going to Seattle, first game back with fans. I think they're going to be rocking. I think it's still going to be a low-scoring game. 54 is a very high total to me, so I would love the under. I think it's like a 24, 17, 16 game again. So I'd definitely take the Seahawks to cover. I think DK Metcalf will probably get in a little bit more and have more involvement. And I'll stay with the under and Seahawks minus 5.5.
Noah.
It is a tough one. This is probably going to be one of the games that I'm really looking forward to watching the most this weekend. The Titans did not look good at all last week, but I still think they have every bit of a chance to be one of the better teams in the AFC. I know their defense isn't great, but I think they can get their offense turned around. But I don't see that happening this week. I think the Seahawks are a much better overall team. Their defense looked a lot better than it has the last couple of years. Granted, it was Carson Wentz. I don't know how good that Colts offense is going to turn out to be. But the Seahawks offense is electric. They're getting their home field advantage back. That's one of the best, if not the best home field advantage in the NFL. I'm probably going to take Seahawks minus 5.5. I might take the over. I kind of like that. I could see the Titans kind of scoring the ball, moving the ball a little bit more. The Seahawks offense looked pretty good last week. I could see this being a high-scoring game. I just don't see the Titans keeping pace, especially their defense just isn't that great.
And then Jeff.
Or if we have another unanimous pick, I'm going to be so mad. Like you guys just said, I think I got to go with Seahawks. Given the points, I think their home field advantage. It's kind of a reverse body clock game, isn't it?
Yeah.
What, they're going to be
playing? Yeah, it is.
Something to think about.
It's right around supper for Mike Vrabel, and he's got Russell Wilson right off of lunch. That is tough.
Yeah, that's. I don't want to take that. I'll take those odds. And then over under, like we already kind of said everything we could about the Seahawks, and the Titans D isn't that isn't what based with Seahawks, and I think over under it's a little high for my liking, so I'm gonna go under, but I still think it's gonna be like 50 points even, but I'm going under.
So
I just don't like the total. I just don't think the Titans can really keep up. I think the Seahawks should score a lot, but I think there's going to be a lot of field goals from the Titans.
It's a lot of points, 54 in the NFL. So we do a segment called Dog of the Week on the show, and my Dog of the Week is the Tennessee Titans plus 5.5. I think they were wrong place, wrong time, and the Cardinals, everything was working. I still believe in the Titans as a solid team. I think Mike Vrabel can coach. They've been in these tough situations before. They went to Baltimore in the playoffs and beat them there. They have a team built to silence a crowd, to withstand, a hostile situation, just trying to feed Derrick Henry, control the game, control the pace. Once, depending on how the day goes, because this is a 425, I might take Titans money line. I think that it's great value. The Seahawks are tough, but the Titans, again, this is one of those, it's really tough to start 0-2 things. And I think the Titans come out and play really well. They have too much talent, I think, to lose by a touch. Well, they lost by like 30 last week, but but this week I think that they'll keep it close.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Like I said, I think this is going to be one of the best games of the week. It's tough for me to lean Titans after last week. I think the Seahawks are going to be good, but I don't hate that.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the opposite of like everyone's gonna be like, oh, Seahawks look great, Titans look like shit.
That's
the opposite
fair.
of that, and
That's
then all right, next game, a old school AFC rivalry, the Oakland Las Vegas Raiders going to Pittsburgh. Steelers laying 5.5. The over under is 47. We'll start with you, Jeff, on this one. What do you think about this game?
I was not that impressed by the Steelers, honestly. I kind of like the Raiders given the points plus 5.5. I know they're traveling, but I just think, that was a pretty tough win over the Ravens. Sort of a lot of heart, a lot of sloppiness in that game, but they ended up getting it done. Whatever it takes, they found the excuse to win. And I think I'm going over. I think the offenses could really kind of shine here. So I'm going Raiders plus 5.5 over 47.
No.
Yeah, I agree exactly with Jeff. I think the Steelers are going to win this game, but I think they're a team that's going to win a lot of close games, just because their defense is that good. And I think they have enough players on their offense to score enough points to win games. The Raiders aren't a bad team. The Steelers are just a better team. I like the Raiders plus 5.5. I like the over. I think the Steelers are going to score a little bit more than they did last week. The Raiders defense isn't as good as a Bills team, which has a very solid defense. So I'm with Jeff, over 47, Raiders plus 5.5.
Then Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, really big win again with the Raiders. They're my winner of the week. I just think traveling and being on the road, I don't think they feed off that energy like they did on Monday night. And I think it's still going to be a sloppy game. I don't really like Pittsburgh. I don't think they're a sound team to play a full 4 quarters with, complete offensive and defensive dominance. But I still think, they're going to pull out and just win by a touchdown, if not more. So I'll take the Pittsburgh Steelers minus 5.5. Again, with that sloppiness, I think it's going to hit the under. I'll take under 47.
I'm with you, Teddy. I like the Steelers to win by a touchdown here, like a 27-20. This is a prime, and you said it with the travel, prime letdown spot. You have an emotional win on a Monday night, short week, going across the country to Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh can win this one by a touchdown or more. I am very interested, and this is where, how the Raiders would cover if we got into this whole thing. Their defensive line looked nasty, and the Steelers' offensive line is suspect. So we'll see how that'll be a great matchup to watch when Scott Hansen's flipping around in red zone during the 1 o'clocks.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. So that next game, Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs are minus 3.5 going to Baltimore. Both maybe the two most entertaining games in the AFC this past week. Both of these teams were in them. Over-unders 55. Teddy, we'll start with you here.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in Baltimore. I know Lamar Jackson just seems like he's really worried about that contract. I mean, he's coming out in a contract here. He's trying to do the most that he possibly can. I think it's a little bit too much. So I don't think you can do that and make those turnovers like he did on Monday night against a really good Kansas City team. And Patrick Mahomes still the best quarterback in the league. I think everyone he's at that point where he's just so good. People want to look for something else that's better. But we all know that he's still the GOAT. Not the GOAT, but right now the best quarterback of the NFL. And Kansas City in prime time, I think they're just going to, dominate. I like the minus 3.5 with Kansas City. I think they pull it out. But yeah, I'll go with that. I'm not too happy with the over-under, but I feel like anytime an over-under in NFL is 55, it feels like a college game that's like 72 or above. So I feel like you just got to ride the over for the fun of it. I don't know if I'm going to take it yet, but that's what I would lean towards.
All right. Noah.
I don't just like the Chiefs -3.5. I love the Chiefs -3.5. I actually already have them at -2.5. I took the Chiefs before the game even started on Monday night. That's how much I love the Chiefs this week. I wanted to take them at -2.5 because I feel throughout the course of the week, it might stretch out to -4, -5, around that range as well. Just because the Baltimore Ravens did not look good against the Raiders, really by any means. Their offense was unimpressive, and their defense late in the game just looked like it got tired. With all the injuries too, I mean, you lost your top two running backs. You're looking at, Latavius Murray, Le'Veon Bell, guys who were out of the league until 3 days ago. It's kind of crazy. Tyson Williams looked all right, but the Chiefs are a team that are going to put up points fast, and the Ravens are a team that do not play well when they're behind. They're going to be forced to throw the ball early, and I just think it's going to lead to them not scoring a whole lot. It's also why I'm going to take the under. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to put up a lot of points, but I could really see the Ravens scoring a touchdown and a couple field goals this week.
Then, Jeff, what do you think?
I gotta agree with Noah on the Chiefs. I was gonna say I love this spread right now as it stands because I could easily see it getting up to, 5 or 6.5 points by kickoff. I'm going to be hammering that. I think I'm gonna foreshadow that might be my lock of the week, and life's too short to bet the under, so I gotta ride with the over here. It's 55. I think that it's just fun. I want to root for points. I haven't seen a Hansen yet, but I'm just waiting for that to come out because that's the best bet in sports. And I'm rooting for the over here. I think I can see Kansas City scoring almost every single one of those 55 points, but as long as it hits, I don't care how it happens.
Love it.
Burger alert.
Oh yeah, 50 burger alert.
Oh, Papadilla alert.
Yeah, I love the Chiefs here. I'm with all you guys. This is another unanimous. Last year when they played, Chiefs won 34-20. No, you hit the nail on the head. When Baltimore's behind, they're screwed because Lamar's not good enough of a passer when he becomes one-dimensional. And the Chiefs will just pour it on you, and they won't look back. Love the Chiefs. And anytime that they can get Baltimore to 0-2, and that's one of the prime AFC contenders, they're gonna. Andy Reid's a really step on your throat type of. He's going to choke you out when he sees some weakness. All right. Any final thoughts before we get into our cards? If anyone has anything to add, maybe from last week that we didn't touch on that you wanted to get out there.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Take it away.
So what'd you have me down this week? 6-1, 5-2. What was I? Something like that.
5-1.
5-1. So I was 5-1 on the show. I had a couple extra bets that I threw in there late last week. I think I had Titans Cardinals over, which was a heartbreaker. Matt Prater missed the field goal late in the game. Nobody scored after that. The field goal would have put the over. So that didn't hit. Took Jalen Hurts over 47.5 rushing yards, something like that. That hit. There's something else that I'm missing. Something else I'm missing. But the one I really wanted to talk about was the Niners-Lions. I think when we were on the show, I said take them at -7.5, the Niners. I didn't get my bet in until Sunday morning. At that point, the spread was -9. I still love the Niners. I still took them at -9. They were winning by, like I said earlier, a little over 20 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But I think it was 23 actually. But after whatever the hell happened, I can't even keep track of it. I don't really even remember. All I know is there was 2 touchdowns by the Lions in a minute with an extra with a 2-point conversion that made it an 8-point game. And my lock of a win that was that game just disappeared in front of me, and I lost that one, and that was absolutely heartbreaking. I haven't had a bad beat that bad since the Browns last year when Cody Parkey missed a field goal, or the extra point after time expired, as time was expiring against the Colts last year. That was pretty bad. And I just wanted to put that out. And even though I was 6-1 on the show, I think I was 7-4 in my wallet last week.
You don't bet against the Lions, week 1, Motor City. That's what they're known for a lot of the season. There was also a Tigers game going on at 12. The chaos down here with people trying to find parking was insane.
That had to be awful.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, though. I just watched, people trying to figure it out. It's great.
My worst bet of the week was Packers team total over 26.5. That was close.
Pretty sure I put like 5 units on the Packers spread too, so I'm with you there. That was awful.
Well, I did have Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers in my fantasy league, so that was a great.
Oh,
jeez. I went 0 for 3 in fantasy, so probably not a good start.
All right, who wants to go with their card first? So do dog of the week, and we'll all do our locks at the end. So save that. Anyone?
Any takers? I'll go.
All
right. So I only have, let's see, eight here. Again, I might have a couple extra by the time Sunday and Monday roll around. But I got Chargers -2.5 versus Cowboys. Everybody knows I love the Chargers this year. It's at home. I think -2.5 is less than a field goal. DeMarcus Lawrence just got injured, broke his foot. He's not going to be playing. Randy Gregory might not even be playing this week. I'd imagine that line is probably going to change come Sunday, but -2.5, 3.5, 4.5, probably going to be taking the Chargers either way. I have the Vikings Cardinals over at 50.5. I think the Cardinals offense could be very explosive this year. The Vikings always have a pretty solid scoring team as well. I will also be taking Cardinals -4.5 versus the Vikings in that game in Arizona. I think the Cardinals have a chance to be very good this year. I don't think they'll be as good the whole season as they were last week. That was kind of lightning in a bottle, but they could be a 11, maybe even 12 team win or 12-win team, depending on their schedule. Chuck, I know already spoke about this one. I have Saints -3.5 at Carolina. I believe in Jameis. I do not believe in Sam Darnold. I think that's an easy win for the Saints right there. I'm also taking Rams -4 at Indy. I don't think the Colts are going to be very good. They did not look very good. Rams will be one of the best teams in the NFC this year. As I mentioned, taking Bills -3.5, Chiefs -2.5. And my dog of the week, Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bears are a terrible team. Terrible team. They've pretty much banked on their defense every year for the last 3-4 years. And it looks like that's starting to catch up with them. Khalil Mack's getting a little older. Eddie Jackson's getting a little older. Roquan Smith's still solid. But I don't see their defense being as good as it was the last few years. And as long as they are playing Andy Dalton over Justin Fields, that offense is not going to be good either. Their offensive line stinks. And the Bengals beat a competent Vikings team. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. He's a solid quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. He's going to put up numbers. That team's always going to score points. That team's always going to score points.
He robbed them blind. I've been telling you for years. He robbed them blind with that contract.
Say what you want about Kirk Cousins.
Well,
is he making too much money? 100% making too much money. But they're going to score points. They're not a terrible team. But Joe Burrow looks like he's ready to take the leap even after an injury. He's got his best friend Jamar Chase there with him. Pair that with Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon look great. That's a very good offense. I could see them winning that game. Yeah, that's my card.
All right, Jeff or Teddy, who wants to take?
Yeah, I'll roll through them. It's good. We talked about some of the games, but I'll take Bills -3.5, the Eagles Niners under 50, Titans Seahawks under 54. I'll take Vegas +5.5, the Chiefs -3.5. I do like the Broncos. I think they're at -6.5. I think they're a surprising team. I think they continue to roll a little bit, and I think that's an easy spread. I think it's Jacksonville. Obviously, we know Jacksonville. I think they're just going to be a disaster in the league, even though we thought it was the Texans. I do like the under 42 in Pats Jets. I think that's just the way the Belichick coaches, we got Florida. Oh, no, sorry, completely different thing. But I like the Pats and Jets not to do anything. Young QBs, just kind of keep it a sound football game, more defense heavy. I'll roll with the Chargers with Noah -3.5 because Cowboys stink. Never will believe in them. After all of Noah's spiel with the lock and the Bengals, I loved it. +2.5, the money line. I mean, it's not heavy, and I still think Bears shouldn't win a game as long as Andy Dalton's their starter. So everything and all of that leads to the Bears winning by a field goal. And this story continues. The story continues of, Andy Dalton won a game for them when the scores come in. So I think it's another delay of a week. Oh, you got to keep Andy Dalton in because he won this week. So I will go with the Bears. So now I need to find a new underdog of the week. I will come back for that.
Okay. Jeff.
So my first pick, I'm starting off with tomorrow night's game. I think under 40.5 points. I can't see the Giants scoring any more than maybe a safety. So that's going to leave 38.5 points for the red football team to pick up for, which they probably could because the Giants defense has more holes than Swiss cheese. But I digress. My dog of the week, going with the pick of the Vegas Raiders +5.5. I also like them to win a little bit, but I'm probably Chuck. I'll let you know if you should add that to my card later in the week. If
Got it. Yep.
If I decide, just keep your eyes peeled.
I will.
I love big spreads, so I am pounding the Browns -12.5 against the Texans. I think in the NFL, that's basically like a college football is like 40, which means they're just anticipating just to roll them. So I think the Texans stink. I think they just played the Jaguars, who also stink. So therefore, obviously, somebody has to win. And the Browns, I think, are just going to roll them. They're coming off of a close loss against the Chiefs. I think they could come out hot. I think they're going to score like 50 points in the first quarter and just kind of coast from there. Next, I like the Rams -3.5. I don't know. I don't like Carson Wentz. I don't know. I just don't like him. So I'm just going to bet against them until it fails me. Same as the my Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers. Noah's got me hooked. I think the second it loses is the second I say I knew they were frauds all along. But until they prove you and therefore me wrong, I'm riding with it. I got 14 plays already.
There's 16 games.
Yeah, I got four. Yeah, I got money in 14 of them. I'm Falcons stink, taking the Bucks -11.5. I hate Kirk Cousins. Cardinals -3.5. I think that's kind of a steal of a line. Broncos -6. I got a -6. I like that a lot. Jameis, I love Jameis now. I don't like Sam Darnold. I think he's a fraud and a scumbag. So Saints -3.5. And then, Eagles, 49ers, taking them spread -3.5. Patriots -3.5, 5.5, because the Jets just stink. The goddamn Jets, I don't like them. Left-handed quarterbacks don't do well, especially in their home field. So Buffalo Bills -3.5. And that rounds out my card. Any questions?
Who was your dog of the week?
Beautiful. Oh, the Raiders.
Raiders, that's right. Yeah.
Raiders.
Yep. All right. So my card already gave my dog of the week, Tennessee Titans +5.5. I kind of have a system, and there's 2 plays on it this week. Love double-digit dogs in the NFL. I'm not going to take the Texans because the Browns coming off that loss, I actually do think that they'll blow them out. I like the Falcons +12.5. That's going to be you just take it and you bite on the towel the entire game because it could get ugly. But I'll hope that they keep it within 12.5. We'll see. The Rams -3.5, Eagles +3.5, Broncos -6. Teddy Bridgewater as a starter is 36-13-1 against the spread. All he does is cover spreads, and he will again this week. Carolina +3.5. I think this is a sneaky. This kind of the same rationale that I applied to the Titans is what I'm applying to this game. everyone's going to be loving the Saints. Saints this, Saints that, 38-3. I like Jameis Winston. Don't get me wrong. But I think we're going to find out this week that he still has some of those Jameis qualities where he's going to throw some weird picks, have some of that going on. The Panthers did take them down to the wire. It was 27-24 in the Superdome last year, and they went out and kicked like a 65-yard field goal with like 2 minutes left. They missed it. I'm throwing out the game at the end of the season when they lost 33-7 because of the last week, and the Panthers didn't care and the Saints were playing for something. But I do think the Panthers are good enough to keep this thing close and keep it within the 3.5. Possibly could win the game and beat the Saints. And then tomorrow night, under 20 first half, Giants football team. And we'll start with locks. Lock of the week, Chiefs -3.5. Yeah, we kind of already went over that, so that's what I'm riding with. Teddy, your lock of the week.
Yeah, you kind of went into it. I'm going to take Carolina outright and plus the 3.5. I agree with, coming off that big win against Green Bay. They're still on the road in a divisional game now. Carolina doesn't have anything to lose. It's still early, but I like Sam Darnold. I like to see what he's got going on. So I'm going to take Carolina as my underdog outright and plus with the points. I will also say any viewer watching Sunday around like 12:15, take the Eagles money line. Just get a play for this. As long as you're watching this on Sunday, please don't listen now. Don't get in now. But, that's a Sunday pick. And then tomorrow night, I will take the first quarter under. I think it's just going to be a snooze fest. It's going to be like 3-0 or like a 5-2 game in the first quarter. We'll just take the under.
Watching too much baseball.
Noah, your lock of the week.
What was Teddy's lock? Was that
Carolina?
Oh, lock is Carolina. Okay.
Yep.
So I got Chiefs -3.5. That's my lock. Just to do something different here. I actually might have 3.
Three locks.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I know. It's crazy.
All right.
Me too, baby.
There's 3 games that I have to bet on them. I have to because they're that appealing to me. Obviously, Chiefs. I got them at -2.5. That's a steal. Even a huge difference between 3.5 and 2.5 just because a field goal covers. But I love Bills -3.5 at Miami. I really think the Bills are going to pounce all over them. I think this year, as I mentioned before, is a huge tell-all for Tua. Maybe he gets better at the later end of the year, but I think the Bills are going to run all over him. And then Rams at Indy -4. I really do think the Rams are going to be a top-tier team in the NFL this year, and I could see Indy being very average at best.
All right, 3 locks. Jeff, can you top 3 locks? You have 14 plays.
I mean, I actually
it's only a fraction of what you got.
I mean, yeah. My lock is, I think it goes without saying, the Chiefs -3.5, like we said earlier. That's just, I think I would take that up until it got to like 6.5, honestly. That's how much I love the Chiefs. But my real lock is the Green Bay Packers -11.5. I think they got humiliated and they got something to prove. I think the finally first home game of the year. I can't see them scoring any less than like 35 points here because they just got embarrassed. And the only way to do that, the only way to get over it is to just kick the living shit out of the Lions because that's exactly what you would expect any given day of the week. So yeah, I don't think, as much as I want the Lions to cover for Motor City Ted, I just can't get myself to bet against it. And there's a reason they're given 11.5 points because the Packers are just, they need to wake up. Like, I think having one less preseason game, I think they thought that was a preseason game against the Saints, so they just kind of like fucked up. And now they're like, oh wait, it's week 1, like let's go. But now they're actually playing with an angry like chip on their shoulder coming into week 1 because it's actually week 2 and they're in a losing record. So
and
that's
jumps all day.
Fuck yeah. Best touchdown song in the game.
Oh yeah.
The one last thing, because I gave away a teaser on last week's show, I'm going to give away another one. Plus 200, it's a 7-point teaser. Eagles plus 10.5, Miami plus 10.5, Titans plus 12.5, and the under 49.5 in Patriots Jets. I don't see how that loses. Thank you.
I like it. I mean, the last week hit, right? Last week hit.
It did hit.
I wish I took it. I didn't. I missed out.
I'm kind of flirting with some other teams right now that some of you may not like. I think Dallas would keep it within 10.5 too. And I also think that the Raiders might keep it within 12.5. We'll see. I have to mix and match and all that stuff. So it's early, but that's my first run at it. My rough draft.
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
Still cooking it up.
So unlike Chuck, I am a man, and I don't need a teaser for my pleasure. I've done you all the favor of parlaying every single one of my picks this week.
Oh, God. The Padavana parlay.
If it hits, we will never have to worry about paying for Zoom ever again. It's on me. I got it. Your kids want Zoom. I got it. Your kids want Zoom. Your kids want Zoom. I got it. We're all getting Zoom.
How much does $1 win?
It's plus 1.4 million.
Oh my God.
So I put. I mean, it's a Hail Mary, so the total payout would be $72,000 if this hits.
Holy shit!
I just lit a unit on fire. But it's if it hits, like that'd be pretty cool. So
yeah,
I gotta be pretty cool.
All right. Closing thoughts. Anyone got anything?
I mean, another fun week.
Yeah, it should be a fun week. I'm excited.
It's a real week one, right?
Yeah, the real week.
Yeah, it's the real.
It's the real week one.
Last week was week 4 of the preseason. So just counted. I'm
gonna take my own medicine and fade every pick that I made because we're overanalyzing a preseason game for the regular season.
All right, that has been the NFL show on Chuck's Chat YouTube.
See you, folks.